Hey nerds, today we'll be taking a look at some commander cards that have left wizards scrambling and players outraged. Remember Hogak's Summer Vacation in Modern? Or that time Luris and friends tried to companion their way into every deck in existence? So, if you're ready to discover how a bin chicken, a glittery enchantment, and even a humble ornament managed to flip formats on its head, stick around, it's time to meet the commander cards that went wild. Now, not all of these cards are from true commander sets, but appear to have been designed with commander in mind. Also, we have a Discord server now, you can find a link to that in the video description below. Alright, let's get into it. First up, we have Bonder's Ornament. Now at first glance, this unassuming artifact seems harmless enough. It's a 3-mana mana rock that can occasionally draw you a card. Seems fair, right? Well, tell that to Popper. In a format defined by its more limited card pool and slower pace, Bonder's Ornament became an absolute powerhouse. It ramped you, it fixed colors, and it provided repeatable card draw, all in one convenient package. The result? A warping of the Pauper meta that led to its eventual banning. Now it is mentioned in the ban announcement shown on screen here, the card was never intended to see play competitively. It was simply a common due to how rarity is done in commander decks. While this issue doesn't affect most of the player base, it is something I hope WotC keeps in mind going forward. But the fun doesn't stop there. Enter Nadu, Winged Wisdom. This bird wizard flew straight out of Modern Horizons 3 and into the nightmares of modern players everywhere. While it's not from a true commander set, Nadu presents it as being a commander card. Now, aside from being legendary, which could be for balance reasons, if I'm being charitable, its stats are well above rate. A 3-mana 3/4 flyer is really good. It doesn't die to bolt, still dies to other removal, but even then it replaces itself with a card, which is pretty insane. Oh, and the lands enter untapped for some reason. There are too many signs of this card looking like it should have been a face commander, not in a 60-card format like Modern. Now there is a ban announcement in a few weeks from the time I'm working on this video, and hopefully it won't be an issue anymore. However, it has warped Modern around it, with over 25% of the Pro Tour Modern Horizons 3 field running a Nadu list of some variety, and 5 of the top 8 being some Nadu variant. I know people can't wait for the nightmare that is Nadu Summer to be over, and hopefully it will be in a few weeks. Now speaking of summer nightmares, if I had a nickel for each summer Modern was awful, I would have at least 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird it's happened twice. The original awful summer meta, at least from my memory, was thanks to Hogak Arisen Necropolis. This deck ran rampant from June 4th to August 26th of 2019. It was incredibly resilient and fast deck, thanks to cards like Stitcher Supplier and Faithless Looting. Oh, and this card could be cast from the graveyard. Again, Hogak wasn't from a commander set, but it has the markings of a card made for commander, not 1v1. It's legendary, it's really easy to cast in a format like Commander where you have access to a bunch of mill, and I don't think Wizards was expecting people to break this card as hard as they did in Modern. The final Modern card comes courtesy of Lord of the Rings, and it's none other than the One Ring. At the time of recording, it's currently the most played card in Modern, seeing play in 47% of decks. It's a colorless artifact that provides card draw, and can go into any deck, and it also gives you protection when it's cast. It's actually insanely pushed. Even the cheapest printing of the card right now is $90, and that was available in a bundle you could have gotten off a store shelf. Now, I think this card was made as a chase mythic for commander players, but sometimes when you power creep a little too hard, this is the result. And with the ban announcement in a few weeks, I wonder if this card will get hit. It's definitely a likely candidate since a card that's seeing play in 47% of decks seems way too good to stay in a meta. Maybe they'll just limit it to 1 copy, that way you can't just play it as a 4 of in every deck, and also it's the One Ring, there should only be 1 of them. Now let's talk about some creatures that have caused big problems in Pauper. Akroa Sneak, Underdark Explorer, and Voracious Battle Rager were all printed in Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate on June 10th, 2022, and by September 19th of the same year, they were all banned, alongside Stirring Bard. The reason being is a Dark Ritual plus Lotus Petal start with these cards were causing too many non-games, where you would essentially lose on turn 1. And in less than 3 months, these cards took over the format and had to be banned. While I do love the initiative, I don't know about its place in a 60-card format. And then we have Fall from Favor. It's an innocent-looking common that turned into a Pauper powerhouse. This card's ability to tap down creatures while providing card advantage thanks to the Monarch was just too much to deal with. It only took 55 days for this card to be banned in Pauper, and it came from the original Commander Legends set, if I didn't mention that. Both the Initiative and Monarch are really powerful, especially in 60-card formats where you only have to stop one player from attacking you. So a control piece like this, which keeps creatures tapped down, along with just regular removal or counter spells that blue-black often plays in Pauper, there were no ways that players could get through this and take the Monarch back from you, so eventually you would just remove all their stuff and have a grip full of cards. Now, last but certainly not least, we need to talk about the elephant, or should I say companion in the room, Lurrus, and the companion mechanic as a whole. Companions were first introduced in Ikoria and sent shockwaves through every format from standard to vintage. It turned out the ability to have a guaranteed extra card in your starting hand proved to be way more powerful than anticipated. Now, Lurrus in particular, with its ability to recur low-cost permanents, became an auto-include in countless decks, especially in higher power formats like Vintage and Legacy. The impact was actually so severe, Wizards had to change the entire companion mechanic, forcing players to pay 3 mana to put them from exile into their hand before you could even cast it. And even with this change, some companions like Lurrus, Yorion, and Zerda still had to be banned in most formats. I believe companions are a prime example of how Wizards was treating Commander, at least at this time. They literally gave us commanders that we could use in 60-card formats, and it turns out those are pretty broken. I will say, however, the companions in Limited are incredibly fun, so I hope we see more mechanics like it, but just for Limited-only sets. It's pretty clear that when Wizards designs with Commander in mind, it can lead to some really crazy consequences. Now, I will give Wizards credit, especially Gavin Verhey and the Pauper format panel, that they take pretty swift action when cards like this become egregious, which is great, and hopefully they continue to do so. So, which of these cards had the biggest impact in your favorite format? Are you excited or concerned about the future of Commander card designs? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe, and ring that bell. It really helps out the channel and makes sure you won't miss a single video. And check out some of my other videos shown on screen here. Alrighty nerds, I'll see you in the next one.